There's this new thing that he's introducing my mother to, which is this thing called Scientology. The promise of Scientology is that you will reach your full potential in all areas of your life. So you'll be the best mother, you'll be the best group member, you'll be great to animals, you'll take care of the environment, you will reach the highest potential as a spiritual being. Not only are you fixing yourself, but you're also helping mankind. It offers you a sense of purpose in life. This is an organization that will save the planet from crime, from war, from people hurting each other. And we're going to be part of the solution. And when you make somebody feel they're part of something bigger, like saving the planet,
Now, in this first clip, you hear a lot about all of the great, glorious things that Scientology is going to do for each of the members, and even what it, as a religion, plans and claims that it can do for society as a whole and the world at large. And I think the thing for us to keep in mind when we look at that is that, Scientology it's not this big evil thing to the people who are its members. It speaks to the most noble and compassionate sentiments that good people have. And that's true of any coercive group. It's not going to all be thorns. It's going to have a lot of really beautiful messages, which are the things that keep people there. You know, they say that you can't have a trap without honey or without the bait or without something that makes it appealing. And so you can't just look at what a group claims to do or what its noble intentions are and say, well, it has good intentions. It says that it wants to do good things, and so it is therefore an ethical or a good group. You have to just understand that, all of these groups, even ones that end up having just terrible, dastardly outcomes, start out with this overall message that really speaks to the compassionate heart of people that are involved in it. Now, in Scientology, we talked about how it was going to end war, it was going to end pain and personal suffering, and you can see that in their media. Now, Mormons, when you talk to a Mormon about, what does the church do in your life, what is the intention of the church, they'll have a similar sort of story. One of the popular quotes is that it takes bad men and make them good, and it can take good men and make them better.
The gospel of Jesus Christ can make bad men good and good men better, can alter human nature and change human lives.
And it talks about how it's changing and transforming the hearts of its members to be a force for good in the world. It really capitalizes on the goodwill that exists in the heart of Mormons to take part in that process. Whether you're Mormon or whether you're a Jehovah's Witness or some of these other groups, you're always going to find these good messages that keep people wanting to be a part of it, because it seems like you're in this organization that is doing good on just a larger scale than you could ever imagine doing on your own. Just keep that in perspective. Understand that all of these groups have similar messages. They just vary in the details.
The great commandments are to love God, and the other is to love your neighbors yourself. And we're awfully good about talking about it. But here you really see that in action. These people are really loving their neighbors.
There is no doubt in my mind that if it wasn't for some of the volunteer ministers being on the scene to assist our medical personnel, those patients would have died. The volunteer minister was walking the walk, not just talking the talk. They were there.
Now, one of the things that she talks about is how you're going to save the universe. And there's like these people even beyond, your personal experience who you as a Scientologist are going to affect. Well, in Mormonism, we have kind of that idea that we're going to save the universe as well, but we do it through a different route. In Mormonism, we believe that, our ultimate goal is to live again with God, but not only that, to become as God is. And we understand God as this patriarch figure who is at the head of a large family. And so we see ourselves becoming, particularly for the men, but also as parents, gods in our own right over our own human family that we will be able to preside over, just as God or Heavenly Father presides over us. And in order for us to achieve that, we also have to help other people get to that role as well. And that's where temple ordinances done as proxy for those who have died comes into play. And Mormons, as they get older, as they've done temple work, that you'll find Mormons that spend hours and hours every week, every month, every year in the temple doing this proxy work, which are special ceremonies that are done in the temple for dead people. You as a living person will stand in place, take the name of somebody else who has died, and perform one of those ordinances which are supposed and believed by Mormons to be keys to achieving that exalted state of godhood. So as a Mormon, you also believe that you can save the universe. You just go about it a little bit different way by following those procedures and doing those ordinances.
Another thing to keep in mind that's at the root of all of these grand altruistic things is that they all serve to give the participants in their particular religions a sense of elitism. And that is that they, as members of those religions, have a special, unique ability, power, skill, endowment, or calling to bring to pass these great things in the lives of people around the world. And that you have to be part of that group in order to really have the best or the truest or the greatest effect of whatever it is the group is trying to get people to achieve, whether it's in Mormonism salvation or in Scientology being free of the influence of Thetans or whatever. So while they talk a lot about all of the great things that they can do, the subtle underlying message is that you need to be a part of our group if you actually want to do this, if you want to have this kind of effect around the world. And it elevates people. When they're in that, they believe that they're part of this special elite group of people that have this special ability to do things that no other group has. And it keeps members bound within that group because they get the sense that they can only have a positive effect in the world if they stay among the elite. And so it has this reinforcement of keeping people in and of having them kind of isolate themselves from the outside world because they see everybody outside the group as somehow not as elite as within the group.
So there are some similarities there just at the outset. So let's go on to the next clip.